All right, we are at the West Virginia Outdoor Economy Summit. It is going great. All kinds of different educational sessions going on, keynotes. We're sitting over here, we got some lights set up, so we're attracting some folks. Just met a new friend, Doug Bigelow. Doug, thanks for coming by and hanging out with us.
Sure, man. Thanks for having me on.
Doug's got some different perspectives on trails. We've talked to all kinds of different folks, so we're gonna get into motorized, right? Start talking a little bit about that. Who do you represent? What's going on in your world these days?
Appreciate that. So I'm the executive director of the US OHVA Alliance.
Okay.
We do trail education all across the United States. Out west, we work with the Bureau of Land Management, the National Forestry Service, a lot of private entities as well. Here on the East Coast, most of that is factored into private areas. We do have some stuff that we do with the Forestry Service here on the East Coast and some local, state, municipal entities as well. Through our off-road education and trail stewardship projects we look to educate people. That's the biggest thing. If we can recreate responsibly out on the trail, show people what it looks like to be a good steward of the trail, hopefully we can mitigate a whole lot of these issues that we have down the road.
So that's pretty interesting. We got a lot of folks that are local here, state or even county, but you're really coming in with a national perspective. You're working across the whole country and also now looking at, okay, how do I bring some of that knowledge and case studies to West Virginia, right?
Yeah, I mean, we look at it and I've identified this is now just over my 40th year in off-road. So I started a million years ago as a young kid racing. I raced all the way through up until about 5-6 years ago. And then I moved over into the land use side of things. As a perspective of the whole United States, West Virginia has the ability to be a very bright, shining star, not only in the economy, but just it's favorable in legislation right now. The outdoor economy is looked at incredibly favorably by so many people that are making the laws here. So from me and understanding what that perspective looks like all the way across the country, and then just the people that we know, like every time we talk about West Virginia, like, hey, there's some really good things that are happening here. You might want to be a part of that. Look at the largest off-road park is opening 15 miles down the road from us in Appalachian Outlaw Trails. That's incredible. It's going to be a massive and for the off-road lifestyle, for the person that has a hobby and they like to go get in the dirt, they like to be muddy, they like to either on a dirt bike or a side-by-side or a Jeep or buggy or whatever it is, that's going to be a destination. That is going to be a national destination that people are like, hey, have you been to the Appalachian Outlaw Trail system? Have you, it'll be just like it's saying, hey, have you ever been to Johnson Valley, California before, which is another Mecca that people like to go to, or Moab, Utah, where everybody likes to go to. So a lot of great opportunity here within the state, but it also comes with a lot of areas that you need to navigate, do responsibly, and set up the right way from the get-go to be successful.
You're absolutely, and somebody said it earlier. Multiple people have said it in our keynotes about how beautiful this place is.
It is.
And West Virginia is amazingly beautiful, but some of the best ways to see it is to get off the paved roads. And so you are getting people into those back roads and off where there's nobody else, and they can go sit out there and hang out. I'm sure you do some camping overnight.
All the time.
Anything adventures. I mean,
I had more miles on my Polaris Crew XP1000 than I do on my Escalade in the last year. Like it gets parked. We ride every single weekend. We go and find a waterfall or a great trout stream or an area to go disperse camping in, and it's a lifestyle, and it's one that's favorable here in West Virginia.
And that is what is going to teach your kids to love the land, to be a good steward of the land, and to teach those practices. And it's going to make them want to stay here longer.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love doing everything outside. I mean, we're big mountain bikers, and we coach teams, so we're all about getting kids on bikes. But really, it's about getting kids outside and getting families outdoors again, and
get some fresh air in your life.
I don't really. And then what I found so amazing about this region is how many types of trails we have, right? So I think one of the things we've been talking about just continues to be a theme through our interviews is that collaboration, right? So, your perspective on trails, multi-use trails, different types of mountain bikers, hikers, equestrian, off-road, like what's your take on kind of how everyone can work together to kind of, collaborate?
I appreciate that, because so many people, again, like to point fingers and say, we don't want those people here, we don't want those people there. when in turn, maybe we're not on the same trail, but we're in the same area just due to, hey, I wouldn't want to spook a horse with my little bit louder vehicle. But there's a whole set of guidelines if we're on a co-use type of trail that we all need to be respectful of each other. I've always, we had horses when we were younger, my wife and I, and we were very akin to how quick an animal could get spooked. So if we ever came across somebody, if we were in a side-by-side or we were in a Jeep, we always made sure we shut the vehicle off. Let those people pass, let them get by, and then we keep continuing down the road. So there's certain guidelines to be successful. I think there's areas where we can all use the trails respectfully and do it together. And if not on the same trail, especially in the same area. So we should be together, not apart.
I agree. But the greater, if we're all working together, the greater sum for the economy, for small businesses, everything, it's such a better deal at the end.
More outdoor space is better than more factories in West Virginia.
I agree.
I agree. And I look at, I live in Fairmont, West Virginia. So travel 68 and 79 regularly, a couple times a week. And anytime that I see side-by-side sitting on there, I see Jeeps coming in, purpose-built $100,000 buggies that are coming into our state. That is money. That is tourism that's coming in here. Everybody needs to have food, a place to sleep. They need to have all the essentials if they're going out on the trail, snacks, you name it. And, and those people are willing to come here, recreate in our state responsibly. And that's impactful. That's really impactful for our economy. It's impactful for the towns that they're visiting, and they're impacted for the lives that they're meeting with other folks out there.
And their money spends just like everybody else.
Exactly.
It's very good. And with it, and I tell people this a lot, like, hey, we want those folks coming in here because it's important. It's going to matter. We need to make sure that they do it responsibly. So there's an avenue for our organization to be able to communicate certain message to them. And for us, hey, if you're in a four-wheel vehicle, it's wheel right, be responsible. If you're in a dirt bike and it's ride right, be responsible. Everybody knows what responsible looks like. We can go into it and dive into all types of guidelines and whatnot. But we want people to be safe. We want them to get home at the end of the day. We want them to be responsible stewards of the ground that are out there.
What was it that Sam just said? He said 80%. We're kind of on board as a community, about 80% of what we want for trails. So I think we're doing pretty good.
We're doing good. I look at specifically from our sector of off-road, and I kind of look at the explosion of the side-by-sides and the dirt bikes and Jeeps and so forth. We're in a golden age of off-road motorized recreation right now. We're seeing very rapid growth, which is good. And at the end of the day, I think majority of people that are out there recreating are doing it responsibly. Unfortunately, you do get a small percentage of bad actors that are out there. Folks we don't want to identify with, but we also recognize, like, hey, that's an opportunity to be able to get our message out to them as well. And then all of the people that are doing things responsibly, we want to reinforce that message to them about how we continue to do this the right way. My goal, honestly, is 30 years from now, 100 years from now, all of these trails that we have accessibility to right now, we still have.
And that's the goal.
Somebody might say, and my grandkids might say, you know what? Those guys were way far out there 1,000 years ago, but look, we're still looking at these same stars, same beautiful view, out at the same stream that great Grandpa Bigelow was at. That would be pretty cool. That'd be pretty cool.
What's your take on this summit? Being here, what do you think?
Being a local guy and being in the State House last week, we had an Adventure Motorsports Day. I didn't know what to expect here. It was kind of difficult, and our travel schedule was pretty immense coming back from California. So I didn't know what to expect. And I was like, I had to be here. Backroads of Appalachia was delivering off of my whole entire vendor booth from last week when we were in California. Literally delivered it to me in the parking deck. And they were like, how is it in there? I was like, it's impressive. It really is for an inaugural summit to have this many businesses here, this much interaction with everybody. There's a very nice buzz here of what can be for the future, and I'll definitely be back here. There's no doubt. We'll have a booth here the whole night.
We're glad you're here, and we're glad you support. We're glad you're bringing that national perspective to West Virginia.
Appreciate it.
Even though it's home for you,
It's
just
home for
bringing
me.
it back in, and And thanks for coming by and joining us
Thank you
today.
guys for getting this message out here and connecting everybody together. It matters. And, you know, you get to a lot of these different kind of events and people kind of stand off.
Yeah.
Don't necessarily come together and talk amongst each other. And you guys are helping facilitate that. So thank you for you guys.
Thanks, appreciate it, man.
Some of my best memories when I first moved to West Virginia were going out in a Jeep overnight and just having a blast. I mean, we broke an axle, had to get towed out.
It's the best.
We keep adding bucket list stuff we got to do together.
Yeah.
We've been a bit slacking.
Hey, anytime y'all want to go, you want to go ride side by sides, you want to get in a Jeep. My family will do it every weekend.
We're gonna keep them to that, right?
I will. I will be. We do an incredible event here. We call it Expedition Appalachia.
Okay.
We take a couple 100 miles. We'll do it here in May. About 25 of us, and we just go and recreate and see all the cool stuff that's in West Virginia. It's amazing what these little hollers kind of hold, whether or not you're in Cass or you're out on the other side of the Mon out there or wherever life takes you. I mean, cool caves, businesses that you come into. Like, it's just incredible what's around every single corner. And I think about our trip that we had last year. We had probably 40 of us. We camped right underneath a spruce knob. And the view that I woke up to in the morning, I'm like, you don't see that every day. Like, that's a once a year type of situation. And my goal now is like, I'm never gonna miss that for the rest of my life. I'm never not gonna come back to this spot. So that's around every corner. I love Virginia, right?
We'll set it up. Thanks for coming by. Great to meet you. Take care.